All right, good morning. Let's drink our coffee. You may be in a blizzard, but hey, aren't we all? Aren't we all in the storm of life? We're going to talk about freight. We're going to talk about some rates. We're going to do a market report. So stay tuned right after this. Ah, yes. Excuse me. Hold on. Ah, yes. Good morning. Sorry, I've got the allergy season is upon us. It's spring, even though it may not look like it outside. We had some blizzard conditions right now. It's like blowing snow and the whole 9 yards. It's like 19-degree wind chill, whereas just 2 days ago it was like 60 degrees. So there's that. Um, uh, but anyways, last night, of course, everybody is probably going to talk about that today. Trump addressed the Congress, and it's very interesting to watch our government at work. It's very interesting to see people's reactions and what they're standing up for and what they think they're standing up for and the whole 9 yards. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. A lot of changes coming. That's the only thing I can really kind of get from it is a lot of changes are coming, and what are we going to look like on the other side of that? So we're going to get into a spot report that CDN Freight Broker sends me every week. And then we're going to we'll do our usual. We'll look at rates and we'll look at some of the trends that are going on, some of the things that I'm seeing, booking trucks, and we'll go from there. So, anyways, I hope you got your coffee. Hope you're all sitting warm. If you're driving, hopefully you're not fighting that wind. I know that there's, you know what? I actually need to do this here. I usually do this. Let's get the weather service up here. National Weather Service. I almost said surface. All right, share screen. National Weather Service. There we go. Oh, StreamYard's got this extra step in my browser here. A lot of wind. That's all wind. The blizzard warnings have moved north. They were in the Kansas City area yesterday. And then we're under a little winter weather advisory in southwest and central Missouri. And that, basically the whole I-44 corridor, pretty much from like Springfield all the way up to almost St. Louis. basically Rolla area. And then you got Wisconsin and Minnesota doing their thing, and then you got wind all over. A lot of trucks being blown over in various areas. So just be cautious. It's a very active looking map, and of course the mountains in Nevada and Utah and Colorado and all that. So, and looks like Wyoming's a mess right now as well. So just kind of be safe out there. It's old man Winter's like he's trying to slam the door as he leaves. So that's kind of what there's always that storm, right? And so, but it's been nice to have the relief in the Midwest and South. I got tired of running my truck south to avoid the weather, per their request. But anyways, so speaking of changes, Pigtail makes a good point, and I'll get to the the rest of the comments here. Pigtail says EPA changes hopefully coming. Delete legally. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting. That happened. Hell, if that happens, I might go out and buy a truck myself. You never know. You never know. Anyways, let's do some comments here. WCF Invader, what's up? Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope your new career is doing well. Pigtail, good morning. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Desdoki Pam, good morning. Gen Z, good morning. All I just lost my lunch outside the truck. Hopefully it was something I ate, not the stomach bug. Yeah, that's going around. Jeff and I were talking about that because he actually had that for a minute, and I guess it stays like contagious for like up to a month, even on surfaces. That's what I've heard. I'm not a scientist or a doctor or even a blogger. Just so don't take my word for it, but I think it's got some nasty life time that makes it kind of hard to beat. So just be aware of it. TK, hey now. Good to see you, my friend. Very snowy up here this morning, boss. Yep, same here. It's doing the same thing down here. In fact, we're probably getting more snow than you are. Gary Cook, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Flatbed Trucker, what's up? Dime Breed Media, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a minute. I mean, not on YouTube. I see you on Facebook all the time. Good to see you, my friend. Gary Cook, it's beautiful here in Ocala, Florida this morning. I've also got a truck down there right now as we speak. So EPA changes hopefully coming. Delete legally. That would be good. Still getting 50-mile-per-hour winds up here. I believe he's in Kansas City area. So yeah, that makes sense. Buck Brown, no, not the weather report. Yep. Orion, call your congressmen and senators, support the Transportation Freedom Act 100%. There you go. Orion, good to see you, my friend. I'm currently in a glider myself. No def, baby. There you go. That must feel good. Fennell, man, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long minute. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. If you guys notice, I'm a little bit earlier than I used to. I'm trying to beat the rush before the rate cons start coming in and the drivers start calling. So I'm pretty much gonna not make this. I'm reducing my hours of trying to reduce the length of my show because an hour and a half is a bit much. And I know we get off in these tangents and sometimes you go with the flow, but other times I just need to do what I need to do and say it within 30 minutes. So we're going to see how that works out. Let's go with can Trump do away with the FMCSA? Well, okay, so let's talk about that, for example. If they take away the FMCSA, they're going to replace it with something else. So we're not going to be any further ahead. And Pigtail says current administration will not do away with the FMCSA. Now, could they change how things are done? Maybe. But we're looking at some pretty look, I don't care what side of the fence you are on politically. The one thing I can honestly say, whether you're for Trump or against Trump, okay, is that changes are coming. They're happening live before our very eyes. If whether you like the president or not, I encourage you to watch the entire, not just snippets that the news picks out, but the entire congressional address. I encourage you to watch that. You can see you see one of the people get kicked out. You see one side in protest. You see a lot of emotion, and you're going to hear what's all going on in his head. That's the problem with social media is it kind of distorts and filters everything of what it wants your algorithms to see. But the congressional address basically lays it all out unfiltered, and you should be paying attention to that. I know, like during Biden, I did the same thing with Biden. Biden did the address, and I asked people that are highly critical of Biden if they watched the entire address, and they go, "No, I couldn't watch it." And that's a dangerous precedence. Yeah, I mean, he was a dangerous president, but but you have to see the whole picture. And even that, the congressional addressing was not, it's not the whole picture, but it is a picture that's unfiltered through social media. And you have to pay attention to these things. So, because any social media site can twist things in a certain direction. The thing that I'm aware of is that change is coming and we have no control over it. That's it. And so where you land is how well you've prepared yourself. And you can't be prepared if you don't even know what's going on. So there you go. There's my political rant for the minute. Stopped early yesterday. Got tired of being blown from lane to lane, light load. Yeah, I had a couple of drivers deal with that yesterday as well. Fennell, always forget the alternative isn't always better, right? ELD modifications possible, i.e. 14-hour pause, new exemptions, that kind of thing. That would be good. Look, I don't mind the hours of service except for the 70. The 70 is the one that really doesn't make sense, right? If you're taking your 10-hour breaks, the 70 is it's a revenue killer. And the other stuff I can deal with, but it was always the 70. And the 30-minute break that everybody gripes about, I think that's I don't mind the 30-minute break. You need to get up. You can't just drive 11 hours straight without stopping. You got to get up and move. You got to use the restroom. And then I always use my 30-minute break to look for loads, when I was driving full time. So Orion says, huge changes. Anything is better than what we had. I mean, some people think that. Orion says Biden mumbled. Well, I mean, yeah, but you still had to listen, right? You still needed to listen to see what intentions were or what they're telling you what the intentions are. I think there's a difference there, right? Pigtail says, would be nice to see modifications that affect shippers and receivers, detention being raised and enforced, or mandatory unload load times, financial relief if truck is held, etc. Yeah, good luck with that. I would love to see a mileage daily instead of hours. Example, 750 mile per day limit, then have to be off 8. Give us control of our business. Shannon, good morning. Do I need to put out there what we've been talking about as far as trucks go? Buck Brown, good morning. The right way to truck. Good morning. How are you? I would keep it all but the 70 and 34. Same 14 every day with the 30-minute break. Yes, that's where I am. That's what I want. No 34, and because the 34 makes it very tricky. And you actually work harder to get to that 34, right? I've got a driver that's a really good runner, and he always manages to get squeeze out of 34. It's crazy how good he is at it. So, but if you didn't need a 34, man, you could run. You could run. I don't agree with the 750 mile per day. I don't agree with that, but because that could be like if you're driving a full 14 hours, man, that's there's no need to work that hard, right? This is A says dragging his speed with my notification. Yeah, I figured. Hell, I was getting blown around in my Cybertruck, and it's pretty heavy. Had to be 50, 60 mile per hour gusts in Oklahoma City. Sharon, I'm going to text you. If I can find you. There you are. All right. I texted you, Shannon. I use voice to text. Wasn't that a neat trick? Because I'm not that fast of a typist. And you put in the chat yes or no. You don't have to text me. Morning STT. All right. So let's look at I'm gonna do this market condition report because this can be important. So this is something that CDN sends me every morning, or every Monday or Tuesday. It's something that he gets passed out from, I believe, his I don't know what resource he is. It might be his brokerage, but anyways, as you can see, the needle hasn't moved a whole lot. Right now it's showing national spot rates at 204 a mile. In van 244. Flatbed, and then 236. And it jumped down quite a bit. Shannon texted me back. So, all right, Shannon, your wish is my command. All right. A lot of these rates take with a grain of salt. Just because you're getting $1.80 coming out of Dallas doesn't mean that you're doing bad. If you're getting and if you're getting above this 204 out of Ohio, doesn't mean you're doing really great. Just this is an average, right? This is an average, short and long haul. It can skew the number. So I don't put a whole lot of value to this actual number. What I do look is the trend. As you can see, flatbed is trending up, and that's typical this time of year. And then van is trending down. Now, I'm going to get into what could be happening here pretty soon. Green Screens AI. This is an AI pricing platform. I use this all the time on 123 low board. It kind of gives me about what the AI is telling these brokers to use, to utilize. And this is telling me the top lane movers. Salt Lake City to Utah to Las Vegas is up 11.67%. St. Louis to Indy is up 311. So those two lanes you want to look at to maximize your profits. And then California to Houston is moving down by 9.5%. And then Pittsburgh, PA to Philadelphia, PA, that lane has dropped 10%. So take that with what you will. I don't put a whole lot of weight on that, other than these are markets to look out if you're actually in them. These, I've got it. We have a driver that lives in Pennsylvania. That's all he does. So that might be an interesting thing for him, but like, I don't run Salt Lake. Now, if I was going to run a truck from Salt Lake to Las Vegas all the time, I would probably be seeing an increase in rates. Then St. Louis to Indy, that is a good lane that I would normally run, even with my own truck, and so it's good to see that up. This is outbound tender volume index. I almost said reflex. The takeaway from this chart is that volumes have fallen over the last couple of weeks and are in line with 2023 levels at this time of year. This is showing just regular seasonality. The little yellow circle is where we're at. And the red line is 23 and the blue line is 24. So we're pretty much where we would normally be. February is showing some trends that were actually in normalcy. This chart is showing January 2025 was the highest ever month for imports. The takeaway is that it's clear evidence of front loading to get ahead of tariffs. So we're going to see if freight drops because of the tariffs that have been enacted. Again, watch last night's speech. National spot rate reported by DAT increased to $1.61 with national fuel surcharge at 41 cents for a combined rate of 202 mile. That's all platforms. National van spot rate is 204, flatbeds at 244, and reefers at 236. Contract rate reported by DAT is 205 a mile without fuel. So if you're doing contract freight, you're probably getting a little bit more because of that fuel surcharge. Let's see. The other important number, outbound tender reject index, which measures relative capacity in the market, decreased to 5.38%. For reference, anything above 6 has shown capacity is tightening. Van decreased to 5.38. Flatbed increased slightly to 9.37. Reefer decreased to 10.05. What you new people that don't know what the heck I'm talking about, tender rejections are an indicator of trucking capacity conditions. Declining numbers indicate carriers are losing pricing power, while increasing numbers indicate carriers are gaining pricing power. So it's all about leverage. And what I have noticed is that there are little pockets of great volume, like around Chicago, around Columbus, around Green Bay, and even Atlanta has increased. So it just depends on where you're at and how soft the market is around it. Market summary. The domestic transportation market is experiencing typical seasonal patterns. Tender volumes have decreased by 8.9% year over year, but have risen 4.3% week over week, aligning with trends observed in late February over the past 2 years. Now, I've been telling you this for the last month. This is what February does. The current tender rejection rate stands at 5.38%, down from a year-to-date peak of 8.3%. This decline suggests that carriers are more readily accepting loads, possibly due to reduced disruptions from severe winter storms compared to previous months. Let's see. Regionally, Los Angeles has seen outbound tender rejection rates drop below 2% for the first time since April of 23, indicating ample carrier availability. In contrast, the Chicago market reports carriers are rejecting 3 out of every 50 loads, reflecting a shift in carrier priorities since the third quarter of last year. The shift is no doubt related to the recent import surges, with January 2025 imports 25% above 23 levels, suggesting shippers are front-loading to preempt potential tariffs, which could impact future freight demand. And you're going to see that when I show the charts here on the low boards. So let's do that real quick. If we go to 1, 2, 3 low board, 48065 if you want to try this low board for free for 30 days. And I was told that we won't be at Matt's this year, but we will be at Matt's. They're definitely thinking about it for next year. 1, 2, 3 low board just had a new CEO, so that's kind of It's kind of interesting. Look at this, Van. Arizona and California are green. Arizona's green. That's kind of neat. So we'll take a look at that. Texas, of course, is always green, but doesn't mean it's got good rates. Missouri looks good. Georgia's got quite a bit of outbound, but also quite a bit of inbound. Wisconsin looks pretty decent. Minnesota looks decent. So a lot of green here, so that's good. Let's take a look what's coming out of Arizona. Gary says, I see Arkansas will not honor Canadian CDL. Do you think that will go nationwide? I don't know. I haven't heard that. Arkansas bill bans non-citizens from operating a commercial vehicle without a U.S. issued CDL and English language proficiency. Wow. On February 25th, the Secure Roads and Safe Trucking Act of 2025 was introduced in the Arkansas state legislature by Representative Wayne Long, Senator John Payton, and Representative John Eubanks. Musical City Transport, good morning. And Mark, what's up, man? Thank you for the members all in here. Thank you for that. Southbound, what's up? All right, so let's take a look at why California is or Arizona is waking up. So let's sort this by highest posted rate. See where all the longer stuff's going. $1.94 to go to Chicago. That's actually pretty good coming out of Phoenix. You could probably get a little bit more. Let's take a look at that. It's got 2 stops. Let's see. Yeah, they're a little bit higher, probably because of the second stop. Cargo Chief's got this at 31.70. It's been as high as 35. So that means it's exhibit material. So I negotiate a little bit more for this. You got a little bit of leverage. Not everybody wants to do 2 stops and that kind of stuff. This is usually your typical rate. Mesa, Arizona to look, it's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stops. They're at 2,500. So if it picks up the 6 at 5 a.m., that's tomorrow, and delivers by the 13th. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 8 days, right? 5, 6, 7. Okay. Math is hard. 8 days at $2,500. That's only $312 a day. If you are at an 80% company, that's only $250 a day before fuel, after carrier's cut. Is that a good load? Depends on your operation. I would personally not do that. That's literally half of what I can actually make. If you do this one for 3,300, 1,700, so that might be a 4-day run. And so now you're dividing 3,300 divided by 4. That's $825 a day after your cut. $660 a day before fuel. That's a much better load than the other one. So, be smart when you pick these loads. Here's so you gotta, don't let these high numbers fool you. $1.29 to go to Butte, Montana. That's a partial. That's an LTL load. Let's see, California. The rate, the lane from Arizona to California is always, always, always super low. Always. And then I have a big announcement, so stay tuned. A lot of California. Venture Connect's got like this load posted like 85 times. All right, so post this by highest rate per mile. Let's see where the big paying stuff is. Wow, $1.95 is the highest rate per mile. Huh. The Gallus to Ontario. $1.94 to Chicago. That's a good paying load, as you can see from the rest of this market. Here's the same lane, $1.73 a mile to Chicago. But again, you have a little bit of leverage. Not everybody wants to go to Chicago. I can't tell you how many times I got drivers. Don't send me to Chicago. Okay. Let's take a look at Missouri. Let's see what's coming out of Missouri. Mark says I got 8K out of Laredo, Texas to Queens, New York, 5 stops, driver load on 3 of them. Wow. That's a lot of work. That's a good rate per day, though. Picks up Thursday, finals Monday. Excellent. SST, what's up? I see you sneak in here. I'm loading in Ocala, Florida today, going to Meridian, Mississippi. I'm getting it for $2 per mile. Excellent. That's a good rate, dude, especially out of that area of Florida. James G, what's up? Pick up today, delivers tomorrow morning. That's a good. So what's the overall rate on that, Gary? All right. Highest paying load coming out of Missouri is, overall rate is $3,800 to go from Kansas City to Sumner, Washington, $208 a mile. I'm starting to see more of the loads going into Washington above north of $2 a mile. But again, you want to look at your rate per day. Here's St. Louis to Homestead, Florida, 234 a mile, 2850. And what I do is a lot of times I like to scroll down to see where my daily rates are. By that I mean I'm looking at like what's under 600 miles for like $1,000 a day, right? Scroll down a little bit. Like this one here, St. Charles, Akron, Ohio. This is a good load here. 553 miles, 1141, 206 a mile. It's a good daily rate as long as and it's light. So this is a good load. This is the load I would pick out. Requires 3 straps, shopping carts. So this may be a multiple stop. So you would want to call on this, but it looks like it picks up today, delivers tomorrow. Some shopping cart loads can be a one and done. Like one store is getting all of them, right? I've done those. Here's another one. West Plains, Missouri to Anniston, Alabama, 463 miles, $1,100. But you have to look at the Alabama market coming out. Picks up today at 3 p.m., delivers at 10:30 p.m. So you're pretty much going to lose. So yeah, you pick up Wednesday, deliver Thursday night, but then you're looking for Friday morning. Landing in Alabama in van on a Friday morning is not an ideal condition. But if you live in Alabama and you're going home, this might be a good load for you. Because here's what's going to happen. Anything that you get out of Alabama is not going to give you a good rate per day per se, unless you find something that's multiple stop or it's some weird circumstance, right? So just, and you can look at the backhaul markets here with this feature here. So let's keep scrolling, see what else we got. Maryville, Missouri to Summitville, Indiana. If you're right there in Maryville, you can do that in one day, and that's a good run. 1055. I would probably want a little bit more, but you've got less leverage because of Indiana's a good market. Let's look at this Springfield to Maryville, Indiana. It's got a second pickup in Republic, which is literally like 10 miles. That's not a big deal, but you use that as leverage to get a little bit higher rate. Delivers tomorrow at 1 p.m. So here's the challenge with it. Not tomorrow. Picks up on the 11th. And then you got to be in Maryville, Indiana, 534 miles. So this is the load you got to book a little bit. You got till 1. So that's good. So this would be a good load. I'd want a little bit more for that second pickup, and it would depend on the circumstances. Tennessee Trucking, good to see you, my friend. Good morning, old bearded one. 1020 on 560 miles. My cut is 88%. Good deal. DIY says, boo, freight. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Ryan says, talk to you later, bro. Heading to the shop, work on my pseudo comp truck. There you go. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. 1120 on 560 miles. Excellent one-day run. Good deal, man. Aaron says, I got a load from Savannah, Georgia, Arlington, Texas. Skidded coils, tarped, 1050 miles, paying 2,400. Yeah, in a van, that would be way less. You wouldn't be getting 2,400 for 1,050 miles. It'd be more like 1,600 is what they'd be trying to push on that. So good on you. And that's why the rate. Now, here's a good rate per day going into Texas. That's rare. Joplin to Temple. But you got to pay attention to the outbound market. 478 miles. So if you're sitting there in Joplin today, look at the outbound in Temple and see what you can get. But that's $1,000. You know, that's a good rate per mile and a good rate per day. But like this one, Independence, Missouri to Florence, Kentucky. This is at $1,000, $1.71 a mile. You might think, well, $1.71 is not great, but if you're getting $1,000 for that day, you know, it depends on how you look at it. You know, and then you want to look at the outbound in Florence. 453 loads going from Florence to anywhere, so it's a good market to be in. So that's why they're going to drive the rate down a little bit going in. So make sure you look at your outbound markets. You know, I've got new people that have joined the spot market, and I tell them, always look at your outbound market. Don't chase the money. And they didn't quite understand that at first. You know, don't chase the money. But it does no good to go take a load for $3 a mile into Denver and get $1 out. And then you look at your rate per day and, you know, what does that look like? But if you can get consistent money on each direction, then you're good to go. And it's that, and I find that to be harder and harder to do. It's almost like if you're in a good market, you're going to a dead, you know, backhaul market. It's hard to remain consistent unless you stay in a certain area. So just kind of keep that in mind. This is the lowest rate I took it in a while, but I'm going to Texas, so my outbound will be good. Excellent. I'm glad outbound is great for you step deck people. So speaking of step deck, let's put this up here. Let's do step deck and flatbed. You don't want to go any more west than Texas, that's for sure. Look at all that. Even California is yellow. Usually California is green. For the longest time, all 3 West Coast states were green. So look at the insane number of outbound. 2,053 loads. This is on the 123 low board. What is that showing on flatbed step deck? DAT is showing 3254 outbound and 710 in. Insane. Insane. So yeah, those are your states. Even Oklahoma's green. Like even Oklahoma's like not yellow. That's kind of interesting. And then if there's more drilling going on, then that'll cause some increase in flatbed freight as well. And let's put on reefer here. Now, the cool thing about this time of year is we stop having to be concerned about protect from freeze. So that's kind of cool. That means that van capacity will go up a little bit, or we'll tighten up a little bit, because now we can haul the beverages and everything else and not worry about it freezing. Maybe the day after tomorrow. I mean, it's still pretty cold in some places. So I know right here today we got a wind chill of 19. So Josh Vegan, what's up? So there are your markets. There's your report. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. If I did, drink some coffee. I don't know what to tell you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody's patience with me as I'm trying to, change my time a little bit and be a little bit more consistent with the live feeds. I want to thank CDN Freight Broker for giving me some of this material. And I want to thank the members. I got some interesting things in mind. And then I also have some interviews coming up. Oh, one more thing. Here's the surprise that I wanted to tell you guys. We at Like Trucking have a lease truck that is open. So if you are looking to be if the lease purchase a truck at a reasonable rate and you want to join us at Like Trucking, contact me. You can either email me, snorelord@yahoo.com, or email safety or dispatch at liketrucking.com. And we'll give you the info you need. So if you're curious about getting in one of our trucks, it is an international and it's under warranty and the payments are reasonable. So get a hold of us. Information is below on the banner. Use my code 48065. You get the first 30 days free to try out all the tools, which, do I book a load every day off of 123? No, but I do utilize the tools every single day. When I set up my dispatch station, I have 123 up and I use the market rates. I'll show you guys the tool I use real quick. Market rates. This is a great tool. As you can see, I looked at the last one I looked at was Allsip, Illinois to Columbus, Ohio. And this gives me the market rates. It gives me toll costs. It gives me estimated fuel costs right at a glance. And it tells me my inbound and outbound markets right at one glance. I can't tell you how important this tool is for me. And then it gives me the historical data from, and a lot of times you see how volatile the lane is. It has been in the past, and then gives you an overall map of what that looks like. So great tools. You can instant message brokers from here. You could do mileage calculator, which will give you your IFTA report. So let's do Allsip, Illinois to Bangor, Maine. Let's say you like self-abuse and you want to go up to Maine. Calculate. It'll do the actual addresses too, but here's my toll cost, $75. Right? And tells me all the states you're going to drive in for your IFTA report. Then this has us going through Canada. We don't want to do that. So I would reroute it just like you would utilize on Google Maps. I would add a stop that. So let's do that. Let's close this. Let's add a stop. Let's do Buffalo, New York. Actually, let's do New Jersey. We'll do New Jersey. And that way we know we go south. So we'll do Hazel Township, PA. It's already up here. There we go. $120 in tolls, no Canadian roads. And all your IFTA reports. There you go. And then your fuel costs right here. So excellent tool, especially if you're new to this owner operator biz. So daylight savings times begins on Sunday morning. Yep. Big news is we got a lease truck available. What mile per gallon does the truck get? I don't know. Um, it's an A26 motor. It's doing decent. You know, it's not like a W9 or anything. With both feet. What's up? Good morning. Is 123 cheaper than that? Yes. Yes. What I always recommend to people is get the good version of 123 and get the cheaper version of that. That way you've got two low boards to utilize besides all the other stuff. Well, crap, I wish I had 50K to put away. Matt, talk to me if you're seriously interested, okay? Go check it out, Gary. Tennessee, don't we all? Yeah, we all wish we had 50K in the bank. I know a lot of owner operators don't have 50K in the bank. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll see you Friday. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. And yeah, so be smart, be safe, and don't do dumb stuff. There you go. Later.